Oh, hi. Don't mind me. Not COVID. I have one of the Moderna shots in my arm. I'm just celebrating 420 a little early. And I'm also just trying to get Selvedge is back in. Showing your Selvedge? It's back in, yeah. I met a stylist for Levi's online, as happens. And he's gorgeous YSLs I treated myself to. Anyway, hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Hysterical Whiteness. I heard that White Boy Summer is happening, and I'd like to learn more about that from my dear friend Brontes. But I'm also gonna call it that it's harness summer, you see. Yeah. Right? Because horses are really cool, right? Concrete cowboys, right? Excuse me. Anyway, no, I'm celebrating, actually. I'm celebrating. Yeah, I'm finally over my ex. I mean, I'll always love him. Like the late, great Whitney sang. But I need to focus on my present. I was focused too much on the past, too much on the future, right? Thinking about our relationship, thinking about how I could get him back. And the fact of the matter is that he wasn't responding to me. And, he just didn't want to be engaged by me. So, I gave it my best. I tried to make amends in all the ways that I thought I needed to make amends. I tried to show him that I loved him still, that I still love him. You just have to know when to call it quits. It's like storytelling that way, these monologues that I'm doing. Oh, I forget. Did I already welcome you or not? I've just been running with like a chicken with my head cut off. Running around, that is, my building today here in the Penn Knox neighborhood of Philadelphia. Spelled Filadelphia. Recording from the fono-teknion, my next level recording studio and experimental performance space. Because I've had a lot of time in my hands to perfect my act. I have many tricks up my sleeves over the course of the rest of this season or next season or seasons beyond that. As I like to say, that is, getting ahead of myself. Like Valerie Cherish in The Comeback. Yeah, Lisa and I go way back. Way back. Yeah. I watched Friends religiously in high school. So let me tell you something. I know those people. And in fact, one of the last places that I had been in Manhattan before the COVID-19 pandemic happened was right by the friend's house. I was on a walk with my friend, Matt. We ran into my friend and yoga teacher, Sasha Corbett. You might have seen him on the internets. I follow him. He's worth a follow. Matt isn't on the internets. He's old school like that. Anyway, I'm so sorry to keep you waiting on the other line. Yes, you see, did I ever tell you that my Nana, my father's mother, was a telephone operator? Yes, for AT&T. She connected people. That was actually a job. Yeah. Like, maybe you've seen it in an old movie. You know, like it was primarily women who would sit at a switchboard. You see. It's like a matrix, a switchboard, multiple possibilities. Yeah. Yeah. Lee Strasberg taught me literally everything I know. I don't know who Lee Strasberg is. Have you not watched my other program, D-Master Class / Method to My Madness? The method acting. It's like being a lifetime artist, as my great friend Tony D once said. Come with me, I'm parched. Oops. Let's have a couple of, how do you call it? Just a couple of tricks in the hallway too, you see. Yeah, no, I taught myself to be a filmmaker using Google and Apple technology. Yeah. I mean, the lighting is, it's not the most... Oh, there we go. The chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro. See? See. Ah, see. Excelente. Fantastic. Back in the day, it used to be really cool, like when celebrities, they would be like, like people would want to, like models, people would want to know like what models would like, what they ate. So they would like show them their like fridges, like fashion models. I'm not going to show you my fridge. I'm not a celebrity. I just play one on TV. TM. I'm being ironic. And I'm shooting handheld. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to get that off my chest. Do you see? I'm wearing one of my critical resistance shirts. L'chaim. And I'm gonna get some more. Bam. Yeah, I mean, the whole concept is that I go in and out of character. Didn't know that I was an actor? Yeah. Well, I didn't know I was an actor either until I was like, wait a minute, I'm acting here. Shout out to Urkel. I'm still working on that impression, by the way. I mean, not when I say working, I'm not working on it. It's come out before though, because Family Matters was an enormously influential show on me growing up. Just like the the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Will Smith's character, the Fresh Prince, who is actually the Fresh Prince, is transported out of Philly to LA. Well, that's what I'm planning on doing too, people. Sooner or later, I'm gonna transit out of Philly to LA. That's the plan. And may I wish you a Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan is so lovely, it goes on for like a month. 30 days, something like that. You know, it's this ongoing period for, you know, reflection. And, you know, as I gaze into my reflecting light, you know, in the way that Arcade Fire taught me. You know, by the way, I was trained at the yoga studio that one of them opened and I believe still co-owns. Yeah. How do you think I can do things like this? It's like 4 years of yoga practice, people. It works. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just, you know, I was in New York this weekend, and, you know, getting fit for a custom harness. Yeah, I'm coming out as a leather. I'm coming out as a leather. Those are my people. Yeah. It's a leather thing, people. You could call me Leather Heather. But don't. I don't like the sound of that, actually. Yeah, this is the practice that I developed. This is the practice that I developed over the summer. And here I'm breathing. I'm really opening my body right now. This is the practice that I developed over the past like 8 or so months. Because I was stuck here in my apartment hibernating or nesting or like whatever. And I just incorporated yoga into my everyday. Woo! Wow. Into my everyday life, right? And I can use you know, my countertop as a support. It's a great way to stay in shape and I love it. And it just is really, I'm demonstrating it. Right, and then you can also, I dipped so far down like a Texas debutante. Whew. Yeah, the lighting's not as favorable in here because of this bulb, but that can be easily changed. Whew. And it also incorporates just some basic ballet moves, which I picked up from the couple of classes I took on Saturdays through the adult education wing of New York City Ballet. Ooh. Oops. Kicked my tray of snacks. I went like this way, and then I wanted to go this way, right? Right, this is like, but you know, so many, we'll go back into the other room in a second. So many, sorry, I'm just feeling the openings. So much of yoga, not sure, I'm pretty sure that ballet incorporated a lot of, I'm not an expert on ballet at all, but I'm pretty sure that ballet, there's a significant overlap between postures and movements in yoga and in classical ballet. And I think that's because, do you hear those cracks? It's like swinging a bat. I mean, I also haven't played tennis in like over a year, and like my body's craving to be out on the court like that with that level of physical activity. Anyway, I digress. It's a demonstration of what I would eventually like to do as my third YouTube show. I tried to demo it a little bit. I tried to demo it. Oh, hi. Two-way. Like tennis. Or like the green dot, the green light that I've been getting for so long now that I'm finally picking it up for what it is. I've been picked up. I actually have been. I got the green light and I didn't realize it. No, people, that is a true reaction. By the time you see this, which is not going to be... Okay, Google, what's today's date?
It is Monday, April 19th, 2021.
Okay, Google, what's the weather?
Right now in Philadelphia, it's 51 degrees and clear. Tonight, the forecast is around 48 and clear.
Have you read your Christina Sharp yet? Have you read your Christina Sharp yet? Yeah, I mean, your Christina Sharp for the day. I forgot to do one other thing before I started filming tonight. Yeah, I'm doing my own reality series, people. Look at what I've done on YouTube over the last 8 months since I've been recording these things. I've completely transformed myself into an actor, producer, director. It's all through improv. And that's why I'm so bummed that, like, that's why I was like, why I was so bummed that my ex Arthur, yeah, we had our difficulties, but I was bummed that he didn't want to, like, improv with me and, like, collaborate, like, on something like this for Instagram or YouTube. But he just doesn't want to do it. So, end of story. You know, it's like, I can't do anything about it, you know? And I need to move on. But you know, one of my major influences, and I'm doing a counter influencer, right? I'm making up everything I've been doing. I've been like, in many ways, parodying influencer culture, right? I'm talking about my real influences. My ex Arthur still is one of my major influences. I just asked him if he would give me a recommendation, if he would let me, I asked him if I can go to his hairstylist. Because my hairstylist is out of town, and is not going to be back into town until after I go out of town for 3 weeks in May. So I really would love to get this shit chopped. Excuse my French. My mother would think I'm so vulgar. You know? And my hairstylist B is like an enormous influence on me. And I've been telling on Twitter about all of my influences. I tagged them in a post the other day because they're amazing. CB, I hate perfume. Right? That was a legendary, great, wonderful experience to go into that shop in Williamsburg back in the day. And now you can just buy directly from him, and it's amazing. Like, you know, this 203 Violet is just absolutely out of this world. And you see, I'm just taking you behind the scenes of my life, but I'm performing it a lot. I'm hamming it up a lot, right? Because it's become like a fun thing for me, and I just keep doing it. And like, now I realize I do actually have a green light. I thought it indicated that that's where the camera is, and it's true, that is where the camera is, but it's also a green light, which means that maybe I'm getting help behind the scenes. Who the fuck knows? But I'm determined to keep iterating this project, and I'm excited to have your help in doing it. But one of the things that has to happen is I need to get more subscribers on my YouTube channel. So I'm issuing a challenge. Okay, it's the SMKOG33 challenge. I have 7 subscribers right now. I would like to get above 10. Can I get 3 more subscribers? I'm like the auctioneer. Can I get 3 more subscribers? Can we bump this number 7 up to 10? Like, really easy. Like, go to YouTube. Find me, Google SMKOG33, Sean Michael Kennedy, original gangster, 33. Because I wrote my dissertation to get my freaking PhD on global gangster culture. Whoops. You can tell this is all improvised. How do you like my friend Marlon Brando back here, method actor preeminence? You can tell this is all improvised because I stepped on a cord for my lighting system here. didn't mean that to happen. That's how you know this is real. Because what happened is that reality series completely warped people's sense of the real. And so now people are watching versions of reality instead of actually engaging with reality. And I wrote my college capstone project on the problematic film Paris is Burning that a white lesbian filmmaker made, cashing in. Ask anybody. Cashing in on the brilliant performances of Black and brown drag people. I'm not going to say drag queens in this context because the whole concept was passing. Can you pass for real? Can you be somebody else? Can you force people, not force, can you compel people to see you in a different way? That's where realness comes from. Once again, it comes from Black and brown queer people. Right? I saw this garbage, on Twitter today about so-and-so writing a silly review of Call Me By Your Name. Yeah, this is turning into a polemic because a political system in this country, the US of A, the Union States of America, see what I did there? Is super messed up. And I had to become a performer. I had to become an actor. I had to keep putting myself out there because nobody else is making content about what the fuck's going on. Not like this. I was a multimedia journalist for 12 years. Then I got my freaking MFA in fiction writing and then my PhD in English. Excuse me, I'm gay. I'm ironic, I'm ranty. Larry Kramer is one of my heroes. And I interviewed him at his apartment before he died. I used to work at HX Magazine, then I worked at The Advocate, which nobody remembers now either, but was the first LGBTQ news magazine. And it had its problems because, of course, it was white-centered, it was white-dominant. All of that was, including queer theory. But that's what happens in predominantly white countries and predominantly white academia and predominantly white higher education, right? In these liberal institutions that only want some people to rise or a select few from each of these, you could call them subaltern populations, right? The people who make the exception to the rule. Close viewers of my programming will note that I made my final change for the remainder of spring and into summer here at the Fono-Teknion, where I live and work. It's on Google. Look me up. I dare you. And I dare you again. Does anybody remember Double Dare? A Nickelodeon? I'm also telling a cultural history of the last 50 years in this country. And Toni Morrison and Black feminists and queer of color critics and Natives and Indigenous peoples and queer peoples, and again, the subaltern peoples. Right? Those of us who pass amongst everybody else, right? We figure out a way to fit in, and then we learn, and then we change. Because change is not just a fact of reality. It's a fact of metaphysics as well. To change. This country and this world has been stuck in this horrible tape loop. Take tape any way you want. Measuring tape, tape to bandage somebody, tape to maintain open wounds that don't heal, but tape so that they don't get worse. Differential chances at life, at success. Make no mistake, the people who are most dominated are so to speak they're so much more wiser than you all. That's why I'm hysterical. And that's why I was put on paid leave for speaking out against anti-Blackness and white supremacy and the thoroughly unsafe pandemic precautions at Gettysburg College. It's all fact. I wrote about it the entire summer. I'm a muralist now. I was always a Madonna stan. And then that show, Defacement, that was up at the Guggenheim the same time Simone Lee's Loophole of Retreat was up. I happened to see that both with my longtime friend Matt and with my most recent ex, Arthur. Both of those shows moved me tremendously. But the Basquiat show reminded me how much Basquiat changed the culture. And how he's hardly given any credit for it. This is Basquiat. And Madonna was with Basquiat. And I'm not critiquing Madonna, although I did once connect her to Ingrid Sushi, the former editor of Interview magazine, Andy Warhol's magazine, now dead. Rest in peace, Ingrid. I worked at Interview magazine. I was cast there. You had to have a certain knowledge. You had to have a certain cultural capital to even get in the door there. And I had it. I just had to figure out the style piece more. But it was such a hotbed of stress for me and abuse that I just couldn't. I did a 1.5 years there and I left. because I was put on paid leave at Gettysburg College so unexpectedly, I've had all this time to work on, you could call it upskilling. The neoliberals would call it that way, right? Developing new skills. But these are skills that I've always had. I was trained on jazz saxophone in high school by a graduate of the Berklee School of Music, which is quite a significant place, not least of all because one of my favorite bands, Big Thief, are connected to it. I can't remember if they all went there and that's where the band formed, or sorry, I'm stopping because I'm suddenly filled with emotion. And that was something else that I unblocked over the past 4 or 5 years. Really ever since I quit drinking alcohol and really got in touch with what was going on inside of me. And that's how I ultimately was able to find peace. And that's how I'm continuing to find peace. By sharing my life for the people who are interested in seeing it. You see the ring light. There we go. Think of it as a halo light. Or as, did you hear that crack? I'm still opening up my body. Or as the anti-sovereign. Because this is also an anti-Hamilton play as much as it's an anti-Trump play. And yes, I did do a 3-day intensive acting workshop at the Actors Institute, TAI, for a story for New York Magazine, where I also worked in the early aughts and then freelanced for. Talked to Carl Swanson. He taught me everything I know. Not true at all. But hey, Carl, if you ever see this, love you, man. Wahoo wah. Wahoo wah. Oh, damn. Yeah, and I went to the University of Virginia. Founded by fucking Thomas Jefferson. Ooh, I skipped the beat. Get a little angry there. Or am I just hangry? No, I'm intermittently fasting. Turns out it works. Your body can get used to anything. Guess how old I am? I forgot, where were we? Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's It's 11:08 p.m.
420 is like my New Year's Day. Outro. Thank you, Janet Jackson. She saved my life when I was finishing my dissertation this time last year. I used the concept of interludes. And then I realized that was intersectionality. And then I thought of interstitiality after Hortense Spillers' theory. Possessive S, because it's Spillers apostrophe S. It's old school, but I learned to write, which is what I'm doing now. I'm just articulating it live-ish by reading The New Yorker. Yeah, that's how I learned to write. And then in academia, I had to start to learn to unwrite. And then my writing got really bad for a while. And then one of my greatest mentors of all, Robert Reed Farr, said to me in my dissertation defense that my ex Arthur had attended the only person I invited because I loved him so much and I thought he'd be interested. It also happened to be the day before Valentine's Day, and we were going to Hudson, New York, for the weekend, ostensibly to celebrate both my successful defense and Valentine's Day. Anyway, I don't want to tell you his story. It's his to tell. He's one of the most brilliant people I know, if not the most brilliant. I tend to think of Arthur's influence on me as tantamount to the influence of my great friend and longtime hairstylist, B. Paul, who I met either when I was working at Interview Magazine or just shortly after, or possibly when I was at New York Magazine, which was a couple months later. Anyway, I digress. It's so easy to do. Oh my gosh, and like what happened to my refreshing beverage? You just get lost in a performance. Oh, I put it out here. That's the beauty of improv. You just get lost in a performance and it becomes this like, really fun thing. And this outro is running longer than I expected. Which is fine. We have all the time in the world to be happy. All the time in the world to make the world we want to make. I'd love to share what I've learned in this process. I've been doing it on D-Masterclass, but I'm starting to consolidate. I mean, I've been doing it on my other program, D-Masterclass / Method to My Madness, over the last 6 months or so. But now I'm starting to consolidate the lessons of that period. And I'm starting to shoot new episodes of D-Masterclass that will walk you through some more of my influences. Excuse me. really around style, image. I've always fancied myself a stylist. Okay, Google, stop. I've always fancied myself a stylist, and I've been around so many stylists in my life and in my career in so many ways. And I've studied so many stylists that I otherwise don't know, that I basically became one myself. Which is to say, I just do my own thing. And Black people and brown people and Asian people and Arab people and Middle Eastern people and Muslim people and Palestinian people and South African people. The list goes on and on and on. I'm just doing what people who have been horribly treated through systems and structures of violence thought in multiple ways, not just physical violence, when somebody hits somebody else, or worse, but the violence that happens to corrupt and warp people's senses of reality, to allow the circulation of lies.